I want this to be a special night because I feel like when many times the saints come together, they're looking for a miracle, they're looking for something fantastic to happen, and it's happening right in front of their face. 1 Thessalonians 1:1 expresses Paul's feelings about the church at Thessalonica. Paul and Silvanus and Timothy to the church of the Thessalonians in Yahweh, the Father, and Yeshua HaMashiach. Grace to you and peace from Yahweh our Father and the Master, Yeshua HaMashiach. First thing I want you to understand, here is a real good definition that there is the Father and Yeshua, and they are separate beings. They're not all wound up in one in the Trinity like we have been taught. Yeshua is the Son and has all authority of the Father in him. The Father gave it to him. And so don't think that I'm saying he's just a common man, because he's not. He has been given authority by Almighty Yahweh. But what I want you to understand is that he is talking to the church there. And today, the Father is talking to the church here, the church of the trumpets of Augusta, Kansas, and Yahweh and Yeshua. The Father is talking to us, and he's giving us an understanding of what a precious thing he has done in our midst. We need to be aware of the power of Almighty Yahweh working in us. And we need to be able to recognize the value of one another in the kingdom, because we are a valuable jewel to Almighty Yahweh. You are a faithful voice, our Father, and Yeshua HaMashiach. We are proclaiming the gospel. We are proclaiming salvation. We are proclaiming righteousness, walking in righteousness and walking in covenant with Almighty Yahweh. And you can't follow your heart, for your heart is deceptive above all things. You have to follow the Word. You have to walk according to the Word. The Word is not going to change. It is the only thing on this earth that has been since the beginning of time and has not changed one iota. Man has changed it in the translation, but the Word has not changed one iota. It is the same. The Father expects the same thing of us today as he expected of us 2,000 years ago. We have to be set apart, and we are set apart to Almighty Yahweh. This congregation, when we come to church and we want to hear teaching and we want to hear it, but we don't understand that when we come together in a church, we are a gathering of the Father's jewels. And he looks down upon us as a collection of his jewels, for we belong to him. We are his jewels, polished, kept, and cared for by Almighty Yahweh. And we need to be able to look at one another and see one another as a jewel of Almighty Yahweh, not with all the flaws or faults and looking for everything that we can find wrong, but we need to be amazed at what Almighty Yahweh has done. I guarantee you that if you could see my life, which I'm not going to confess, or I'm not going to start out and drag all that mess out, but if you could see my life and where the Father brought me from, you would see what a miracle He has done in my life and in your life. Look back and appreciate what the Father has done for you, how He has brought you up out of the miry clay, and He has set your feet upon the solid rock, and He will not let it slide. We are committed to the truth of Almighty Yahweh, not fantasies, not fallacies, not genealogies, not all this garbage that goes along with everything that is going on today, but we are focused on His truth, and we are going to stay focused on His truth, encouraging people to walk in righteousness, encouraging people to stay away from the temptations of this life. And there's plenty of them out there that you can get caught up in and that you can get seduced into if you just let it happen. There's plenty of temptations out there. You have to be determined to be separate. There is salvation in no other, neither hope in any other entity. I mean, what can you think of that can deliver you from sickness, deliver you from death, deliver you from destruction, deliver you from the harmful one that wants to come after you? I mean, what can you think of that can protect you like the Father protects you? There is nothing in this world that can protect you like the Father can protect you. We have been given protection. We have been given direction. And we have been given the opportunity to walk in righteousness. And that is an opportunity. Because if you don't walk in righteousness, you walk in destruction. And if you walk in destruction, you walk in confusion, you walk in frustration, and it's all hopeless. The only hope we have is in Almighty Yahweh through Yeshua HaMashiach. The only hope we have is deliverance here on this earth and glory. And with Almighty Yahweh, we get deliverance while we're here on this earth. And we get the glory after we leave this earth. We have glory. We have victory. And we are able to overcome. This world is an illusion. Everything in it is an illusion. It's going to change. It's going to go away. Look at what we're dealing with today with even with the military and the rockets. You know, they have some rockets that we thought were just fantastic. Now we find out they're outdated and they're no good anymore, really, to be compared with what's coming up. You know, I mean, the world is changing so fast, and the only thing that is stable, that stays just like it is the word of Almighty Yahweh, the Ruach HaKodesh of Almighty Yahweh. That's what stays. That is what is same today, yesterday, and forever. We're not going to change it. The church is not going to change it. Traditions is not going to change it. The word is the word, and it's going to stay as it is. The world is an illusion, but the word of Yahweh is stability, and it lasts forever. Everything on this earth, I don't care what it is, your life, whatever it is, it's temporal. It's temporary. It's going to go away. One of these days, you're going to draw your last breath. The next one's not going to come. And you're going to leave this earth at that time. Now, where you are when you leave this earth depends on what you do today and tonight and the rest of your life. But you have to know that there's coming a time when you're going to draw your last breath. The next breath is not going to come. What then? Only then will the word of Yahweh stand up. That's the only thing that's going to stand up then. That's the only thing that's going to be stationary and permanent. The only thing that we have that is permanent is his promises. We know that he cannot lie. And what he has promised, he will do. And he has promised that he will keep us and that he will protect us, that we will be precious in his sight. You tonight are precious in his sight. With all of the weaknesses and failures that we have, you're seeking to please him and to walk in covenant with him is precious to him. That is precious to him. We have a promise of an eternal home, and if we will stay in covenant, and that's important. That's important that we have that eternal home to look forward to. It's not like it's some kind of fallacy or fantasy. It has been proven that through all the centuries, everything has changed. But one thing has never changed, and that is the word of Almighty Yahweh. His promises, his prophecies, they have all come through. And there's nothing on this earth that you can give a 100% perfection to other than the word of Yahweh. We understand that, and it gives us a good indication that we ought to put our faith in that, and that we ought not to put our faith in the things of this earth that are temporal, that are failing, that are falling away. I mean, we look at the government even, and the government is so unstable. I mean, it's so deceptive. You find out day after day all the deceptions that they're pulling on you to get your money, to get your riches, whatever that they want to get, and then get power. The government is working against you in that area. And yet, so many people put their faith in the government. And the government is not an answer. There it is the word that everybody wants to ignore, the word if. You don't want to look at that word. It is put in the word of Yahweh so many times. If is means a condition follows. If means a condition immediately follows that you need to pay attention to. And if we keep in covenant, if we stay faithful, if we stay with Almighty Yahweh, then we will inherit. And that is important because we are in such a world today that is so acceptive of all the ideas and fallacies and things that people come on up with, philosophies, They just accept them all, and let's don't put none of them down. Let's don't go against any of them. That's their philosophy, so let them have it. You can let them have it, but you don't have to follow with it, and you don't have to stay quiet when they put it up. If you stay quiet, you're agreeing with it. Do you hear me? If you hear somebody putting out a lie in these philosophies and you keep quiet, you are in agreement with them. And you have fallen out of agreement with the Father. And that's important. That's imperative that we understand that. So what many fail to realize that if you are His, you will walk as He walked in the kingdom is your priority. If you are His. If you are not trying to walk as He walked, if you're not seeking to walk in the Word as He walked, then you're not His. I mean, it's that simple. It's that simple. If you're His, you are going to walk as He walked. You're going to seek to walk as He walked. You are not going to go your own way, do your own thing, and just disregard the word of Almighty Yahweh. He was the Word made flesh. He was the perfect example of the Word. When He walked on this earth, He not only spoke the Word, He walked the Word. He demonstrated the Word for everybody to see. The power of the Word, the glory of the Word. He was the strict jewel of Almighty Yahweh here on earth. He was the jewel that showed forth the glory and the majesty of Almighty Yahweh. The kingdom has to be our focus, not this world or ourselves. And that's pretty hard sometimes to get off of ourselves. We like to be focused on what we want, what we need, what we like to do. Self is a big form of idolatry that many times we don't stop to deal with. But it is idolatry. When you worship yourself and devour the things of yourself rather than the things that the Father is saying to you and calling you to do. That is idolatry in the highest form. The kingdom has to be our focus. And it's got to be. It's got to be. That's difficult to discern sometimes whether you are kingdom motivated or self motivated. Sometimes that takes some examination. Sometimes that takes some serious discernment to know what is actually motivating you, whether you are self motivated or whether you are kingdom motivated. I believe we have to keep a close watch on this heart of ours. How many times have you heard someone say, well, that's not what I believe in my heart? You just give them a truth. And they say, well, that's not what I believe in my heart. Well, we're warned by the Word, black and white. The heart is deceptive above all things. It will mislead you. It will mislead you. You have to follow the Word. The Word is truth. It is life. And you can't go off wandering after your heart. Well, my heart wants this, my heart wants that, and I feel right. My heart, I feel like that's okay. If the Word says it's wrong, it's wrong. If the Word says don't do it, don't do it. No matter what your heart thinks, don't do it. It's important that we understand we are the precious jewels of Almighty Yahweh, and we don't need to put ourselves on the devil's anvil or be smashed because of our own personal desires. I believe we have to keep a close watch on this heart of ours. Go with me to 1 Thessalonians 1, 2 through 5. We give thanks to Yahweh always for you all, making mention of you in our prayers, remembering without ceasing your work of faith, labor of love, patience of hope, in our Yeshua HaMashiach, in the sight of our sovereign and Father, knowing, beloved brethren, your election by Yahweh for our gospel did not come to you in word only, but also in power and in the Holy Spirit and in much assurance, as you know what kind of men we were among you for your sake. This congregation and all that are in covenant with Yahweh through Yeshua HaMashiach is a precious stone to Almighty Yahweh, a precious stone placed on the cornerstone that others have rejected. We are placed on the cornerstone of Yeshua HaMashiach, and we are polished. You take a diamond, when you get a diamond in the rough, it looks like a stone. It does not look like that pretty diamond that you look at and see in the ring or on the shelf. It does not look like that at all, does not even resemble that. But because it's polished and because it's kept clean and because it is refined, then it becomes that beautiful diamond that shines and glows and catches your eye. That's what the Father is doing with us. He is polishing us. He is some of the things that come against you and rub against you so hard are actually causing you to be a more perfect diamond for the Father. You have to look at yourself and see that you are a precious stone before the Father, and He is working with you. He hasn't cast you away, and He hasn't deemed you as unimportant. You are precious to Him. We must continue to build on that cornerstone as directed by Almighty Yahweh. We must be busy building on that cornerstone. It is important. And you can't just lay any kind of stone on that cornerstone. It has to be the stone that has set forth the word of Almighty Yahweh, and that we have to walk in covenant, walking in obedience to Him, to be able to be put on that cornerstone and built up into the high temple of Almighty Yahweh. How many people know tonight that we are the temple of Almighty Yahweh? That His Ruach HaKodesh reigns in us. It lives in us. We are the temple of Almighty Yahweh. And as we build on that temple, we have to build according to His instruction. When they were building the temple of Solomon, there was no sound of a hammer inside the temple. He commanded that they did not have the sound of a hammer inside the temple. It was His instruction. Now that don't seem like the sound of a hammer would do any damage, but it's disobedience to the Father. It's not going to work. So we have to understand He has set down His word for us, and we need to continue to build on that cornerstone. As the hands and the tools of the master builder, we are to build the kingdom of Yah on this earth, and we are to be focused on building the kingdom. We are not to be satisfied to be lackadaisical all week and just come together on the Sabbath and come together on Sabbath day. We are not to be content with that. We have something to do. We are to be busy in the kingdom. It's not just the pastor that's supposed to be busy. Every child of Yahweh is supposed to be busy, bringing in to the kingdom those who need to be brought in. And we need to understand that it's not just the pastor's job. It's not just the pastor's work to pray for the lost. It's the responsibility of every one of us to be in prayer for the lost, to be in prayer for those who are hurting, and to be able to reach out to them. It is important. It's imperative, and it is your assignment. That's why, we need to know what we're doing when we put things together. We are either building the kingdom of Yah or we are tearing it down. There's no in between. No in between at all. You are either building or you're tearing down. And we have the responsibility of being builders. We have the responsibility of building it up. Sometimes it's not so easy to discern which one you're doing, because there's so many traditions and so many lies that's been taught out there that are so convenient to follow, but they have no production and they have no positivity. We need to stick with the Word. That's why the instruction of the Word is so necessary to know, so you can know whether you are building on the kingdom or whether you are tearing down, because the heart is deceptive above all things, and it will make you think you're doing good when you're doing bad. It don't want you to discern the evil that's in you. Well, we are either building in the kingdom or we're tearing down. That's why the instruction of the Word is so necessary for us, because it is the blueprint. It's the blueprint for the building of the kingdom. And whenever I worked in construction most of my life, and you got to follow the print. You got to follow the blueprint. That's the instruction. You can't do what you just think is right. You got to follow the blueprint. And you got to do it as it said do it. And that's what we have to do with the word of Yahweh. It is the blueprint to build a temple. Go with me to 1 Thessalonians 1, 7 through 10. For from you the word of Almighty Yahweh has sounded forth, not only in Macedonia and Achaia, but also in every place. Your faith toward Yah has gone out, so that we do not need to say anything. For they themselves declare concerning us what manner of entry we had to you, and how you turned to Yah from idols to serve the living and true sovereign, and to wait for his Son from heaven, whom he raised from the dead, even Yeshua, who delivers us from the wrath to come. We understand that we have been delivered. We have not been delivered to live the way where our flesh wants to live and to follow the lust of the flesh, but we have been delivered to walk according to the word, disciplined by the word of Almighty Yahweh, walking in obedience. You are precious jewels to Almighty Yahweh. This congregation is a precious jewel in the midst of Augusta, Kansas. I don't know whether you realize that you are the precious jewel of Almighty Yahweh that has set apart to walk in covenant with Him. You're not a traditional congregation. Every person here made a choice to come out of traditions and to walk in truth. That's a special thing. And you didn't do that on your own. The Father did that for you. He influenced you. He gave you the desire to come out. You Don't be patting yourself on the back because you didn't do it yourself. Almighty Yahweh did it. But He has made you a precious, polished diamond before Him. Do not be irresponsible with that valuable diamond that He has created. Do not just throw it around and leave it out for everybody to trample on and destroy. You are a precious jewel to Almighty Yahweh. And you are a precious jewel to me. I love every one of you. And I am not in any way deluded about the miracle that it took to bring us all together and to bring us with the concept of serving Almighty Yahweh in truth. No matter what happens on the outside, we're going to stay with the truth. You are the master builders. He has chosen you. He has chosen each and every one of us here, not to sit in church, not to sit on our backside, but to work and build in His kingdom. And believe me, you can do it. You can do it. There's a lots of things that tries to hinder, but we can do it. We do the best we can do. We have been given a picture of what He expects of us, how to build. He has instructed us how to build on the word of Almighty Yahweh that's not going to change. Any variation from the plan causes disruption and confusion to everybody involved. There's no way to avoid it. You vary from the plan, it causes disruption and confusion. No variation from the blueprint will bring joy and peace and eternity. Go with me to Zephaniah 3:17. Almighty Yahweh, your sovereign, is in your midst. He is in our midst tonight. Can somebody say hallelujah? He's in our midst. The mighty one will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you with His love. He will rejoice over you with singing. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I have a hard time imagining the Father rejoicing over me with singing. But the Word says it, so I know it's got to be true. And I am so thankful that the Father is rejoicing over me with singing, that He looks upon me with gladness and not sorrow, not anger, but with joy and gladness. Rejoicing over me with singing. That's hard for me to get my head around. But I know it's true because the Word says it's true. He's rejoicing over you with singing. He wants you to do His work. He wants you to bring forth His truth. That's what it has to be, my precious saint. It has to be the truth of Almighty Yahweh.